That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, we're gonna bring in our guest. We're gonna bring in our guest, and I want to say good evening to my sister, and my friend. See, you see me I talk about look how she look nice. You see me I said I didn't want to just just look any and anyhow. I wanted to make sure I'm up to par. You understand what I'm saying? Good evening to you, Doc. How are you?
Good evening. I am blessed and highly favored of the Lord. But I'm doing good. I'm doing
That's
good.
right. You're looking good. You're looking good and everything. It's good to have you tonight. Welcome, welcome to the late night train. And we're here tonight to hear from you and learn a little bit more of you. All right. And so you are an author and an international fashion designer. And that struck out to me. So I said, you know what? From the moment I had you locked in for tonight, I said, I got to know what I'm wearing. I got to look right because I don't often meet fashion designers. You know what I mean? So when I meet an international fashion designer, I'm like, yeah, I gotta have it right. So hence me, looking all because really and truly, I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy. I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to be a suit guy one time, and it's just so overblown. It's just So I had to change my look a little bit tonight to make sure I'm up to par with you. How are you doing, first of all?
I'm doing good. I'm really doing. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Nice, nice, nice. And I like excitement. I love excitement, that's what I'm all about. As a DJ, I love to, make people laugh. I love to see people laughing, and I love excitement. And so already I can see that you have that with you and thing. All right, tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing. First of all, where are you at right now? Where are we talking to you from? Because international designers don't just stay one place, they can be, all over the globe. Where are you talking to me from right now?
I am in Nassau, Bahamas.
In the Bahamas. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Is that where you're from originally?
Yes, this is where I'm from. This is the place where God lives.
Not, this is the place where God. I love that. I love that. I love that. This is the place where God lives. Okay, if they live nowhere else. So,
Nowhere else, right here.
all right, tell us a little bit more about yourself, your upbringing, and your family, and that kind of stuff. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I the daughter to Donald and Letitia Curry. My father is deceased. I am a sister. I have two brothers, and I'm in the middle. I
Mm,
am I'm a wife.
all right.
I
All right.
am a mother of
Mm-hmm.
two. I am
Okay.
a grandmother.
Okay.
Um, I'm a fashion designer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an author.
Mm.
Um, and I'm just Gillian.
You're just Gillian, and I like that. I like that. I like that. Tell us about your Christian walk. What's your Christian walk like? Um,
Well, when I was growing up, I,
yeah.
I, for want of a better for want of a better word, and for want of a better way of saying it, I was
Mm-hmm.
a force to reckon with. There were some things that I did in my life that I often say, unless God tells me to share it, it's going with me to the grave.
Right. Right.
Because I did some things.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I met I think it was 24 years ago. But in
Mm-hmm.
between that walk, I've fallen, I've backslid, and I've asked God to forgive me. I've come back.
Mm-hmm.
The walk has not been easy.
Mm-hmm.
Each day, it's like there's something that you're tempted with.
Mm-hmm.
But I thank God every day for His grace and His mercy that have um, definitely kept me. Definitely.
Right, right, right. Wow, wow, wow. And we have all experienced those things. Growing up, we have all gone through that period of time where we ourselves have done things, and yeah, you, you just decide, you know what, this is going to the grave with me. I ain't telling nobody about this. This will never be said
Exactly.
again. I think, and sometimes maturity though puts you in a place where you can come forward and be real. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? and take some of the things out of the closet because you
Mm-hmm.
realize that there are so many other people just
Yeah.
like yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So many other people just like yourself going through the same things you went through. You weren't the only one. You know what I mean? You weren't the only one who stole stuff from your mama. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You weren't the only one
Yeah.
who did
Mm-hmm.
that. You weren't the only one who snuck out the house. You know what I mean? You realize, oh my goodness, there's so many people, even people who you thought would have never done it. You
Exactly.
realize, you know what? I got company. So you
But
can
the
talk
part
about
of
it.
it that the part of it, sorry, that I share,
Uh-huh.
and that resonates more with me and with others when I share it is the fact that I have two children,
Mm,
and I had those children out of wedlock,
mm,
um, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't. I made some mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. We're
right.
not perfect. There was a point where the decision was made for the last child. Like we got to get rid of this child. Like this. No, you have one. You can't have another one. And I was literally on a table about to
Mm,
have an abortion, and
mm.
I pitched up off that table because I was like, no, 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 like
Wow.
no.
Right. Right. Right.
And I made the decision to keep that child. Now, I may not have done, like I said, some things right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I may not have done everything that was pleasing to everyone.
Right.
Making
Right.
that decision was the right decision, and I have no
Amen.
regrets for that decision.
That's right. That's and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. And you don't know who is being touched by what you just said just now. You don't know the life that you just touched hearing this just now. Whether they're seeing the video live or they're gonna see the video later on somewhere on some other platform. But you don't know how many people are in the very same situation that you're in that you allowed them to realize, you know what, I can walk off of this table. I can walk off of this table right now and things will be different. Things will be, I'm touching somebody else's life
You
with
just
this.
have to trust God.
Right,
And people will be like, that ain't easy. No, it's not. It's really not. It's
right.
not. When you come from a world where there was always someone doing something for you, or you could do that little something and you get something. It's
Mm-hmm.
difficult when you have to come from that world. And for me, I don't understand when you go in churches and they tell the young ladies, oh, don't go back to him and come out of that situation. But you're telling me to
Right,
come out, but you're not giving me a solution. You're not
right,
saying how you're going to help me because this man took care of my bills and he did
right,
this and
right, right.
that for me. But you're not telling me how. You're just telling me come out. It's easy.
Mm.
It's easy to say come out, but you have to help that
Mm-hmm.
person to come out. You got to show them the way. You got
Mm-hmm.
to give them other options. You can't just tell them to come out.
Right, right. Wow, wow. See, already you've said some powerful stuff already that I love. People need to come up with resolutions and solutions
Solutions.
for people to not just walk away from their relationships and all of that. So I hear the counsel side of you already kicking in. Miss Dr. Gillian. We're talking to Dr. Gillian Curry Williams out of the Bahamas. She is an international fashion designer and an author. All right, I want to talk about your fashion design side of things. How did that come along? Were you one of those girls who had dolls and you dressed the dolls up and you realize, oh, I have this thing in me? Or it's something you learn after the fact while growing up? What was the situation with that?
The thing about it is, in growing up, I didn't. That's the ironic thing, because I had two
Okay.
brothers. I wanted to be like my brothers, so they were shooting marbles
Uh,
and spinning top, and I wanted to do those
uh-huh.
things. I wanted to be the one
Uh-huh.
to catch the lizard and catch the frog, and we would put them on the tree and dissect them. I was that
Yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah.
So the doll thing was really not me, but I knew my mother's mother
Hmm.
sewed,
Hmm.
and then my father was a tailor
Mm.
by trade. And my mother, even nursing officer, she still sewed part time. So I don't
Hmm.
think I could have missed it. It was
Right.
stuck with me. It was something I wanted to do. My parents did not want me to do this. They were like, "Oh, you could do this, and you could be a doctor, you could be a nurse." And you could. I was not interested in that. And my father, he always said he would say, "Jilly, you know, there ain't much money in this, and people don't always pay." And
Uh-huh.
but I knew it was just I just wanted
In
to
you.
do it, fashion designer. And so
Wow.
when I graduated from school, I was able to go off. I was able to get a scholarship. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did my courses. I came back. I started doing uniforms and stuff, but I knew the uniform thing wasn't for me because it was like doing the same thing. It was monotonous for me. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over. That wasn't the thing for me. So I ventured more into evening wear, bridal, mother brides and grooms,
Okay. Okay.
and church wear and stuff. I ventured into that, and that's where I've been. Yeah, that's where I've been.
Right. So you sent yourself to school to get that done, or you learn a little thing or two from your uncle or whoever that was sewing. Did you
My
learn a
father,
couple?
my father sewed, so I learned a little something from
Okay.
him. I learned a
Okay.
little
Uh-huh.
something from my mom. So when I went off to school, really, I knew the basics of sewing.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to like hone
Mm-hmm.
some
On the
things
craft.
in and do
Mm-hmm.
something. I
Mm-hmm.
nobody could have persuaded me into nothing else. No, this is what I want to do. Like, yeah, this is what I
Wow.
want to do. And then I
Wow.
I went back to school actually some 9 years ago. I At some point I my creative juices had just stopped. Like I couldn't think, I couldn't draw, I couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine one day, she said, like, apply for a scholarship, like, just, you need to go. Well, you know, what, give me no
Mm-hmm.
scholarship. And we have to be careful what comes out of our mouth, because death and
Right.
life are in the power of your tongue. So you have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
applied, and the foundation that I applied to, they wanted to see a portfolio, so I did a portfolio for them. And
Mm-hmm.
then they um, sent me a letter, and they said, "You didn't get it." And I was like, "Oh boy, okay,
Oh
God,
wow.
like, maybe this isn't you, God, you know."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a story in the Bible, and every time I talk about this, I keep saying I'm supposed to go in the Bible. Someone was going at war, but they went to the altar, and they put uh, a letter that was sent to them, a scroll
Mm-hmm.
on the altar. And I took the letter and I put it in my Bible, and my Bible was on the dining table, where coming in the house I had to touch it, and coming out of the
Mm-hmm.
house I would touch it. And I would always touch it, and I say, God, that's on you. And then, like, 2 weeks later, maybe a week and a half later, I got another letter saying that I was an alternate, which meant that if the person ahead of me didn't take the scholarship, then I would get it. Well, I put it in the Bible as well. And then
Mm-hmm.
a week after that, I got a letter saying I got the scholarship to be able to go, because I needed scholarships to go. I couldn't go on my own.
Wow.
And when that happened, I
Uh-huh.
still needed more. And so a letter was written to our ministry here of education,
Mm-hmm.
say, we are giving her this, but she needs assistance. And someone there at my age, because I was bordering on 49, I think, when I was getting ready to go. They were like,
Oh,
what is she
really?
gonna offer the Bahamas?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, and I could have, like, sat in the corner and been like, well, really, what am I gonna offer? And I was like, no, because, like, anybody
Mm.
that knows me knows that, I may get knocked down, but I may stay down for a second, but it's
Right.
only
You're
gonna
gonna
be
get back
just
up.
like a second. I'm gonna get back up. I'm sorry, I'm
That's
getting
right.
back up. And in any event, I got the scholarships, and
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go off.
Mm.
And I did a in 18 months. It was a fast-paced program.
A 3-year program in 18 months. Stop that.
There were only 2 weeks in between each semester. I was doing, like, six different classes a semester. It was rough.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I would be to school at 8 a.m., or,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'd be to school by 8 a.m., and I would leave school when the campus closed at 10.
Uh-huh.
And in
Wow.
doing so, I graduated then valedictorian.
Valedictorian. And look at that.
Yeah,
Not just did it in a shorter time, but you became valedictorian of the program. That's interesting, and kudos to you on that. I
thank you.
I celebrate that kind of excellence. Wow, 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 wow. So you're a full-fledged fashion designer. So now,
Yes,
where did your designing skills took you? Have you who's that name out there that you have designed something for that stands out and you can say, well, you know what, I made a dress for so and so, or I made whatever it is that you made for so and so. Who's that person?
Well, for me,
Yeah.
all of my customers are
Hmm.
all of my customers are first lady, if you call them that.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
all
Okay.
of them, I don't single them out.
Right. Understood.
I don't do that with my customers because they're all
Important.
important. They're all, you know,
Nice.
they,
Nice.
no, I can't single them out special. So I don't do that, and I don't treat anyone different than the other. Um, so I can't say, well, oh, I've done for, let's say Michelle Obama. But, although I would love to sew a dress for Michelle Obama, but,
Michelle Obama would be cool, right?
I'm putting that in the atmosphere. Like, I need to sew a dress for Michelle Obama.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Where has it taken you though? I know you've gone to several fashion shows or fashion week, and they're all over the place. There's Florida, there is New York, there's UK. Where has it taken you? Where has your
Well,
fashion
first of
designing? Yeah, go ahead.
all, I participated in a fashion show at the United Nations. I think it was 5 years
Wow, nice.
ago. And then
Mm-hmm.
I participated in Flitz New York Fashion Week in 2019. And
Mm-hmm.
in the same year, I participated in Harlem Fashion Week in New York.
In that same year.
In that same year, yes.
Okay, nice, nice,
And I was
nice.
happy I did it because now the pandemic is here and everything has changed. So I was so happy that one made the way for me to do it then.
Right, right. Nice, nice, nice. New York. I remember that area where the United Kingdom, the
United
nation is.
States. Yeah.
And it's such a powerful place. When you're there, such a powerful place. And I'm gonna play a little song, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk to you about your book. All right, Dr. Gillian Curry Williams. She has a book out, and I'm telling you, I tell you, I read a little bit of it, and she's going to tell us all about it, Beyond Diagnosis. All right? So check this out. This one is Glenda Taylor with a song called Grace.
There's something about the grace of God that will ever be a mystery. Oh Lord, it offers escape to the guilty. Oh what a mystery. Oh, there's something about the grace of God that will ever be a mystery. Oh, praise your name. It offers for escape to the guilty. What mystery. Oh, grace, save me when my verdict guilty. Grace kept me when I couldn't keep myself. Oh, grace will sustain me. Oh, yes, it will until I reach glory.
use this time to say good evening and hello to all our Ministry Connecting partners, all our Ministry Connecting partners all over the world. Want to say hello, special hello to those who are listening in the UK. Want to say good evening to Moons Radio in the UK. Cecil G, DJ Morgie. Bless up yourself, bless up yourself. It is 2:32 a.m. in the UK. Also to all our listeners in the Cayman Islands, I want to say hello to you. The Voice FM 97.7. The Voice FM 97.7 in Cayman Islands. Dr. JT. God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless you. And RVR 24/7 in all about Jamaica. God bless you this evening. And our good friend down there in South Florida, Unity Gospel Radio, DJ Solomon. Thank you for broadcasting us live in South Florida. Caribbean Gospel Radio FM in Atlanta, Georgia. Good evening to you. All those listeners all over the world listening tonight. Gospel Vibes Radio FM in Connecticut. Good evening to you. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Unity with Love in New York. 97.3 FM. Good evening to you.
Talking about the grace of God. God's grace is sustained me. It reaches the high.
We are talking to Dr. Gillian Curry Williams.
Explain it now.
He's here with us tonight, right here on GL365 Radio. We're having some good conversations. Learning about her journey. A young woman in the Bahamas. Now fashion designer, international fashion designer, and also an author of the book. Powerful, powerful book. Beyond Diagnosis. A Caregiver's Journey. And the book is available on Amazon. So after you've heard the journey, you can make a choice in purchasing this wonderful, wonderful book that I know you're going to enjoy hearing about tonight.
There's something about the grace of God. Oh, what a mystery.
You're listening to Gospel Live 365.
Gospel Live 365 Radio.
All right, indeed, indeed, indeed. Oh, what a mystery. Oh, what a mystery. You see the book on the screen, and our fashion designer is standing right next to it, looking all glamorous in that hat. I love that hat, by the way. I love that hat. Doc, what was that photo shoot look like, first of all? Was that a photo shoot you did? Are you hear me? Okay. What was that photo shoot like in that hat? That whole outfit that is on the book. I like that whole outfit.
I felt so fabulous when I put that on. It was I had seen it already. I envisioned it in the color I wanted it. I knew the look that I wanted, right? And when I put it all on, it was like, yes. Like, yes.
Wow. I love it. It looking really, really good. Let me let the people get one more glimpse of it. You see and the hands on the Kimbo. They call it Kimbo. Looking really, really glamorous, man. I love it. There's a Lana Sawyer's in Sawyer in Fort Lauderdale saying congratulations, Dr. Curry Williams. All the best going forward. You're getting a lot of wishes in our chat room, and so we want to welcome those in the chat room tonight. Thank you for joining us. All right, about this book. Tell us about your book. There's so much there. I really wanted you to give us a feel of the journey, right? And I wanted it to be a storytelling. So I'm not asking a bunch of questions tonight. I want you to tell me about the book, why, where, how, and when. All right? so in no particular order. I just want you to tell me the story. Share the story with us tonight about your book, Beyond Diagnosis.
Okay, how did it all start? I have always been told, I had always been prophesied to that you were going to write a book, that there were books in me. I was always told that. and I am in a particular prayer group. And
Uh-huh.
one there, the woman of God said, "You're going to write a book, and the book is going to be about
Mm-hmm.
cancer." And for that 2 minutes, it was 2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I knew how Sarah felt when she was told she was going to have a baby. And I was like, what? Like, cancer? I deal with people with cancer. I don't have cancer. Why am I going to write about cancer?
Wow.
But she had typed it, and I screenshot it, and I kept it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to someone one day, and I don't even know how I got on the topic. I started talking, and
Uh-huh.
the word caregiver came up, and I said, well, my aunt was sick. Well, they didn't know what was wrong with her, and
Mm-hmm.
she kept going to doctors, and everybody was like, you know, misdiagnosing her. And I said, listen, let's go away. I said, at that point I wasn't seeing the doctors in Nassau. I said that let's just go away. So I called the doctor. We made the appointment and we went. But before we get there, let me just go back to the name of the book.
Uh-huh.
Beyond Diagnosis. Beyond Diagnosis, that name was chosen because when you get a diagnosis of sickness, the
Mm-hmm.
beyond. There is what is going to
Right.
happen. How is this going to work? Am I
Yeah.
going to lose my job? How sick am
Mm-hmm.
I going to get?
Mm-hmm.
Will I need a caregiver?
Right.
Will I need this? All of those things are the beyond. So that's why it's
Uh-huh.
called Beyond Diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the caregiver's journey is me giving my journey with three persons,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been my aunt, my father, and a young lady that I met by the name of Samantha. In between the chapters, we talk about the roles of the caregivers,
Mm-hmm.
um, the different, we have scriptures in it, because for me it was always, I always had to like pull my phone and find the right thing, and we compiled some scriptures in the book. There are
Mm-hmm.
prayers in the book, so we did all of that was done. So
Right.
the first story in the book talks about my aunt. It talks about the good times with my aunt and the things we did together. My aunt was such a fun person, and she
Mm-hmm.
was like 6 foot. I think she was 6 foot, 6'1" maybe,
Right.
but she was like, I don't like to use the word diva.
Mm-hmm.
Tall, sexy dresser, like always on
Ah.
point, colors always
All right.
blending and matching. And, she had this deep
Mm-hmm.
bass voice. So if you didn't know and she answered the phone, you'll think you're talking to a man, but it was her. But my
Right.
aunt, we always called her the fun aunt. And so when she decided to go after I made the appointment for her, the doctor, after she explained what was happening, um, said right away that she knew what it was. She said, but let's run some tests and see. And the tests were run. She was diagnosed with, is often misdiagnosed, and it was fallopian tube cancer. She got
Mm.
the news. The look on her face was not, on both of our faces, because, we were like, what? Because sometimes she would joke. She would literally joke with us. Like, she'd say, when I turn, it feels like something is turning in my stomach. Maybe the doctors left something in when I had the surgery. And we would joke about it, but not knowing that this was this thing that was in her that was growing.
Right.
It was growing. And so they told her she needed to have surgery right away. My aunt was a pastor,
Mm.
and we already had plans for her to go and preach in North Carolina. So she was like, I have to fulfill this assignment. We'll do the surgery when I come back. And that's exactly what we did. We went away. She fulfilled the assignment. We came back, went back to the US because she had the surgery in the US.
Mm-hmm.
I had my business at the time. I um, closed my business and went with her to have a surgery. And she had the surgery. The doctor said they did the best that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there with her for a bit. Through it all, we prayed, we cried, we talked, we laughed, we we had a good time.
Right.
We really had a good time, and then we came back home, and it was it was rough. And I didn't realize at the time. I actually didn't realize until I was talking the story. Um, because when I spoke to a publishing company about the story, and they said, well, we have to have a meeting and we have to see whether there is a story or not. And when I talked the story about my aunt and my father and Samantha, they were like, we have a story, this is a story. They were like, didn't you see that you did this then, and then it helped you here? And I didn't realize that until I was talking. And so for my aunt, when I came back, I would, take her places she had to go. She'd say she couldn't eat unless Jilly, she called me Jilly. She said, can't eat that unless Jilly said I could eat it. She would come and watch me sewing, as sick as she was, but she got progressively worse. And the thing was that God had me to stand in the gap for her to a certain point, for her to release some things. Because she was like, sometimes she'd be like, Chili, they're using the water, and Chili, what happened with my car, and Chili, what happened with this, and Chili, what happened with that, and I tell her like, Bess, Bess, you gotta just, you have to release these things. You gotta release these things, and I would tell her that, and she'll call me, you gotta let it go. You gotta give it to God. You can't worry about it, And that Thursday, I went to see her, and as soon as I walked in the room, she said, Jilly, and she had the smile on her face. She said, I released it all. And I started clapping, and she started clapping, and I said, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. She said, I let it go. I let it go, Jilly. I had to go because this was Easter weekend, and I had a lot of garments to finish for Easter Sunday for customers. And I said, I have to go. And she said, man, bring your machine this week. Come sit here with me and sew. And I said, no, I can't do it. There's no way here for me to do that. I have to sew. And I left her. I kissed her. I told her I love her, and I left her. That evening, probably about 9:30. Yeah, about 9:15, 9:30, I got a call. And my mom said, because my mom is a nurse, so my mom would be there with her, stay there with her basically. And got a call, and she said, Bessie wants to talk to you. And when I got on the phone, she said, Jilly, my tongue is getting heavy. You need to come. That's what she said. And I panicked for a minute, and then I caught myself, and I was like, I don't have no car. I said, Daddy's out with the car. I don't have a car. And I forgot that my brother lived right around the corner from my mom. And I finally called him, called my older brother first, and I said, listen, normally when you call him, he doesn't answer you right away. Or you can't get him. But he picked up the phone as soon as that phone rang. He picked it up. And I said, you have to get to Aunt Bessie. You have to get to her. Something is going on. You have to get to her. And he rushed there. I called my brother, and I said, I need a ride to my aunt. Now, this brother never wanted to see my aunt sick. So seeing her sick was not his thing. He didn't want to see her like that.
Wow.
He took the slowest time ever. I mean, he told when I had to go and take a bath. And I was like, what? He finally came, and it really felt like it was forever. And we're driving, and he's the police now. This brother is a police officer. And I'm reaching my hand across on the steering wheel to blow the horn. I'm like, blow the horn so these people could go. They have to move,
Right.
Real slow. And by the time he got to my aunt, I was getting out the car. I was about to put my hand to the door to knock, and I heard my mom scream. She passed.
Wow. Just before you got there.
Yeah, just before I got
inside, actually. Yeah.
So I never got to hear what it was, because she told me I needed to come. She told me her tongue was heavy.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And she said, you need to come. So I never got to but she left things in place for me to do. She wanted me to do her makeup. And at that point, I was like, oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But I got a friend of mine who was into makeup, and I did her makeup, and she had a very good send off. And that was my role. And I realized that my role was to help her make it through, because once she released on a Thursday.
Right. Wow.
By that night, I think it was 12:01, she had passed. So God was just waiting on her to just let everything go. And then in 2016, I think 2014, we found out that my father had cancer. And that was a blow for the family, because my father was always one exercising. He was the healthy one, died of cancer, like really. And that was a process for us, going with him to treatments. And in this with him and going with him to treatments was where I have a print that's called the Fabric of Hope. And the Fabric of Hope came about because of my going with my father to treatments.
Mm-hmm.
I kept asking the Lord, and I would minimize my role as a fashion designer. Like, I'm only a fashion designer. Like, what can I do for these people? What is it that I can do? And the Holy Spirit gave me two things. One was to create a print and use some of the colors associated with the various types of cancer and put in this print. And I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you can see it, but the dress I have on is made from this print. And the other thing, give them makeovers and make them feel good about themselves. And we have been doing that. We've had 4 shows so far. The pandemic held us up with our show last year, and it's doing it for this year as well. So
Mm-hmm.
God's willing, hopefully we'll be able to have a show next year. But my father's process, my father's thing with me was, Jilly, whose report do you believe? And I would tell him, Daddy, I believe the report of the Lord.
Right.
So I realized my caregiving role with my father was to pray for him. And he
Wow.
always, Daddy, I am praying. Jilly, are you praying? Daddy, I am praying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Jilly, whose report
Yeah.
are you believing? Daddy, I am believing the report of the Lord. And that was the
Mm-hmm.
thing with him. Now, there were persons who got mad because they felt I should have been to the hospital more and I should have done this more. There was no distance in prayer with us. There was no distance in prayer.
Right.
I didn't
Right.
have to be
Gotcha.
there to pray with him. I
Uh-huh.
could call him on the phone and, Daddy, how you doing? And he'll say, Jilly, just pray. And that's what I
Wow.
did.
Wow. So he was just a praying man.
He was. He was. He certainly was. My
Wow.
father loved the Lord. He loved, listen, he loved the Lord. He really did.
Mm-hmm.
He really
Mm-hmm.
did. And so that was my role. I did with him. I prayed with him. When I could see him, there was some evenings the nurses would call and say, "Oh, he's vomiting," and we would go, my husband and I, and sit with him for a bit and pray with him,
Mm-hmm.
and that was what he wanted. I know I was doing a fashion show one day, and I got a call from my mom, and she said, "Julia, Daddy is coded." I was like, "Oh God,
Mm.
oh God, oh God!" I was like, God, you can't do this to me. Like,
Wow.
you can't do
Wow.
this to me.
In the
Like,
midst of
no,
the shit.
like,
Right. 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 Right.
you can't do
Right.
this to me. Like, now we believe in he's gonna live. You say he can live, so this
Mm-hmm.
ain't living.
Right.
Like,
Right. Not today, Daddy. Not
anyway,
today.
like,
Yeah. Not
no.
today, God.
But I left the fashion show. In driving, I was
Uh-huh.
like, having this argument with God, like, why are you doing this? Like, this ain't supposed to happen. Daddy loves you. Like, no, you're not supposed to be doing this to him. This is a man that loves you with all his heart and everything that he has,
Right.
and by the time I got there, my mom is a nurse, so she had resuscitated him. I looked at my father and I was like, God, you said he's gonna live and he's gonna live. Now I'm not thinking, there's all this gain. I ain't thinking that. No, like no,
Right.
like no, that's my father. No.
He
So
gotta live.
yeah, I told him I had to go. I had some stuff to finish. And I called later that afternoon, that evening. I spoke with him. And then the next morning, when I called, my brother was at the house. And I said, Mario, how does he look? And he said,
Mm-hmm.
Jilly, not good. So I said, God, I've never begged, I've never pleaded for anything from you
Mm-hmm.
before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Please don't let anything happen to my father, and I'm not there. Please, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So I was praying, like, Lord, I was finishing some garments because it just so happened my aunt died on a Friday,
And a good
and
friend.
my father passed away late.
Wow.
So I'm I'm
How
I'm
many years apart? How many years apart we talking about?
well, my aunt passed away in 2003.
Uh-huh.
My father passed away in 2016, so 13
Oh
years
wow.
apart.
So a good while. Wow,
Mhm.
wow, wow. But then Holy Week, okay.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but I prayed that whole day. So, and I was like, God, give me creative strategies to get these people garments finished quick. And when I finished,
Right.
because he did do it, when I was finished, like, let's go. And I relived what I lived when
Mm-hmm.
I was driving to my aunt's house with my brother. Because my husband drove the same way. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't believe this. Like, he took the longest way as far as I'm concerned.
So
He
all,
went
all
and
of a
did,
sudden, all of a sudden, these speed demons,
yes,
became driving Miss Daisy. They
try
became Miss Daisy.
exactly. And I'm praying, like, Lord, like, please don't let anything happen to my father. To be there, like Lord, just I have to be there, and I'm trying to stay calm, and I'm not trying to get angry with my husband, and I'm just looking ahead, and like Lord, just keep my father, just keep him, Lord, just keep him, like God, he loves you. Like I could imagine
Right.
how Hezekiah was when they came and told him that he was going to die, and he turned to the
Mm-hmm.
wall and reminded God of everything that he had done. I
Mm-hmm.
reminded God of things that I know my father had done.
Right.
Like you could hit daddy's car and he'd say it's okay. And he come
Mm-hmm.
home and like, daddy, somebody hit your car. Yeah, but it's okay, sweetie. It's okay. Like, really? Like, really, Mash?
Calm as a lamb.
Oh
Huh?
God, it's
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's how my father. And so when
Uh-huh.
I got there, when I got there about probably about an hour after he stopped talking, but the last thing he said was to read Psalm 91. So I read Psalm 91. I laid in the
Mm-hmm.
bed with him. He would look at me. He'd turn his head, then he'd turn his head away. Then he'd look back. And through the night, I sang hymns because he sang in the choir. He sang in the gospel choir at the church.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got the hymnal and I sang songs for him and I said prayers for him. And at some point, there was a wrestling and I prayed even harder. And I saw what was happening, but I was happy that I was there to be a part of. I was happy that God gave me, granted that I was going to be
Right, to
here
be
for
there.
my daughter. I was going to be here for
Right.
my daughter. So I watched him. I watched his breathing get labored, and I would go out and tell my mom, but she was like, I can't watch it. I can't. I cannot see him like this. And so
Right.
I laid in the bed with him and coming to that final second, it was like he waited because I had a brother that was in Cuba, the police officer, and he couldn't get out.
Mm-hmm.
My son was on his way from Dallas. My brother had just left the house, and my father, I got out of bed and I stood over him. I put my hand on his chest and I said, Daddy, it's okay. He said, it's okay.
Wow.
It's all right. We're going to be okay. I'm going to miss you, but I'll always have you in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
We love you. I spoke with him and he turned his head and he looked back at me and turned again. And I said, it's okay, Daddy. And he took his final breath.
Just like that.
And
Wow.
for me, it was like I was sad, but not sad because I was there, first of all, and that I knew he loved the Lord, that I knew like my daddy ain't going to no hell. I know that. Like, no, daddy has gone home to be with the Lord.
Right.
And I was so happy that I was able to be a part of that. I was so happy. So that was my role for my father. Um, yeah, and I was a daddy. I loved my father. I love my father. That's my daddy. That's my daddy.
Wow, 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 wow. That's very interesting. And we haven't gotten to the book yet because I wanted to know what
But
exactly.
all of this is in the book.
I know. I figured that. All right, we're going to play one more song and then we're going to come back to that and continue a dialogue. All right. Here's a song by yours truly. All right. I wrote the song called A Fervent Heart and I want to share it with you tonight.
Almighty God, for you alone are worthy. I glorify your majesty, for you alone are worthy. You're seated on the throne. You are God and God alone. So with a fervent heart, I give you all the praise. Praise with a fervent heart. I give you all the praise. Almighty God, for you alone are worthy. You're worthy, that He's worthy. You're worthy. Yes, you are. Seated on the throne. You are God and God. You are God alone. So with a fervent heart, give you all the praise. With a fervent heart, I give you all the You're seated on the throne. King of kings, Lord of lords. You are God. You are God alone. So with a fervent heart, I give you all the praise. I worship and adore you. I bow before you, Lord. Give you all the praise. Give you all the praise. With a fervent heart, I give you all the praise.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yours truly, Douglas Bramwell, on a song called A Fervent Heart. It is 9 o'clock, and we are talking to Dr. Gillian Curry Williams, international fashion designer and author. And we've been chit-chatting with her tonight about her lovely, lovely book that she has written. And she gave us a story about the relationship with her aunt, and also the relationship with her uncle, with her dad. With her dad, and how impactful they were in her life. And hence this book that she has written, giving us the details of the relationship that she had with them, and losing them at such a time as this. She lost them, and we're talking about the beyond the diagnosis, and beyond even their death, for that matter, beyond their death. How is it for you now, living with all those two important people in your life?
Well, for me, my aunt, I took on, and I guess my aesthetic, as far as dressing, I've taken from my aunt. So I've taken that from her. For my father, it was the Bible, the Word, the Lord. He loved. He was the only male when the prayer group in the church started. He was the only male for a long time. So I've taken on those roles. I've taken on the fact that my father was a person that cared about people, and I guess that's where I get that from. My mom too, because my mom's a nurse, and my mom will help. Anybody, anything sick wise, she will try and help you as much as possible. So I guess I couldn't miss with that. So both of them are with me. I miss both of them. But what I do now, I do for them. I do to make my father proud. I do to carry on a legacy that he kept up with. Because anyone that they'll say, "Oh, child, Mr. Curry's a nice person. Mr. Curry's a gentleman. Mr. Curry's a gentleman." Because, that's what they said about my father. So, I'm carrying that on. But there's also one other person that I talk about in the book. She's a young lady that I met I guess 3 years ago now. And when I met her, she had been diagnosed with cancer, and cancer came back with a vengeance. I did whatever I could do for her, because I have a foundation that's called the Fabric of Hope Foundation. And I did whatever I could for her, assistance-wise, rent, food, medication, whatever it was that was needed, wherever I could assist, I did. Um, and she had a 13-year-old son that her thing was, Miss Williams, what's going to happen to my son? That was her major concern. What's going to happen? What's going to happen with me? She went to hospital. She was in hospital for a month, and he stayed with my husband and I. And while in hospital, she had me as her next of kin. And I got a call one day to come for a meeting with the doctors. And I was like, oh boy, meeting with the doctors now ain't good, because they could talk to me on the phone.
Right.
Environment, they could really talk to me on the phone, but obviously this is, went for that meeting. They took us in this little room, like 6 doctors and a nurse and me and her. And one of them started talking about, you got to get things in order. And, I have a will. And do you have a will? And have somebody talk
Right.
to you about a will. And then they said, there's nothing much more we can do. We have to talk about palliative care. And I'm like, what? Like, what? I'm saying all this in my head. Like, oh my gosh, just like, what?
They're throwing a bunch of things at you all at once.
It was early in the
It's
morning.
over.
And I hadn't even had a cup of coffee yet. So that was not good, But then they said, you have a few months to live. And I just stood there and I looked at her from the corner of my eye because I didn't want to turn to look at her. And as much as I like to talk, I couldn't say anything. I dare not ask them, well, how long or what. None of us asked. We didn't know what to ask. I saw a tear drop from the side of the nurse's eye. And then they said some other things and they laughed. And when they laughed, she looked at me and she said, Miss Williams, they just told me I'm going to die. And she burst out crying. The nurse cried. We all were crying. We hugged one another. And we started praying, the nurse and I. And when we left, and her question was then, after all the crying, again, Miss Williams, what's going to happen to my son? And I said, don't worry about that right now. You just work on you. Don't worry about that. Let God take care of the rest. And she came out of the hospital, got progressively worse. But she had to have they requested a PET scan. And I took her at the PET scan. And because I was her next of kin, when the scan was ready, they called me and I went to pick it up. And I thought it was going to be in words that I wouldn't understand. But it was clear, and I understood what it said, that the cancer had spread everywhere. And for my show, when I met her, she was nominated to be in my show. But because the cancer spread so quick, she couldn't participate. But for my show, I purchased the fabrics and everything for everyone. I purchased the fabric to make their dresses. I get their shoes, for them to get a complete makeover. And so I had everything for her already. So I was sitting at my machine and the Holy Spirit said to give her a makeover. And I got into action. I know she needed a wig for her head. So I called my daughter. I said, reach out to such and such a person because I need a wig. And my daughter was like, Mommy, you expect? I said, yes. All they could do is tell me yes or no. She said yes. She allowed me to come in the store and pick what I wanted. I made the dress for her. I reached out to a photographer. I reached out to a restaurant where she wanted to go, and the lady was welcoming for us to come. And so that was a Tuesday. That Sunday, she had the makeover. She took the photos with her and her son. We had a good time that day, even though she was in pain. That Tuesday, I knew she had to go to the doctor that Thursday. That's when they were going to tell her what was on the PET scan. And I was like, Lord, I don't want her to go there and, they tell her and then, she's crying. I want to be the one to tell her. So the Holy Spirit told me to go to her on Wednesday. And I went and I asked if I could sit on her bed. And when I said that, she said, Miss Williams, you've never sat on my bed. I said, this is bad, hey. And I said, yes. And I told her what was on the PET scan. And her thing again was, what is going to happen to my son? And I said, don't worry about him. He's going to be okay.
Right.
She got progressively worse very quick. She made it through to her birthday. She wanted a cake, so I got a cake for her. We sang happy birthday. I saw her again that Tuesday. I saw her that Wednesday. At that point, she'd stopped talking, but I prayed over her. I sang. And that Friday morning, I got a call that she had passed away. She was only 31 at the time she passed.
Wow.
my husband and I prayed about it, and her son is living with us. So my journey with her
Wow.
as a caregiver, as the caregiver,
Uh-huh.
continues with her son.
Wow, that's awesome stuff. Oh my goodness. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. That is wonderful and very very wonderful. It's just awesome of you to take that responsibility on for your friend and oh wow. Let me ask you a question. Do you know Mario Curry? Does that name sound familiar to you?
Mario Kart is my brother.
Who's Mario? Oh, because he come on my chat room and he's like, "Yay, sister, yay!" He's out there excited that his sister is here with us, and
Yeah,
we're excited to have you. Excited to have you. So here is our international author and fashion designer, and she wrote this book Beyond Diagnosis, and it's it's everything that you heard tonight. Everything that you heard tonight is in this book, and more, and more. And so many people are going through these things, and they need that to hear somebody else's story. They're going through some stuff, and they don't even realize that there is still life after all of that. You know what I mean? There's still life after all of, the news that was broken to you that hey, you're sick. You know what I mean? You still have to live, right? And when I read the title of the book, that's what came to my mind right away. That oh my goodness, yeah. After you hear the diagnosis, then what? You know what I mean? Then what? And a
yeah,
lot of us are still today living in our then what? You know what I mean? And that's what Dr. Gillian is talking to us about tonight with her dad and her lovely, lovely aunt that she spoke so eloquently about. People on our chat room seem to be enjoying everything that you've been saying. So now you've written a book about your journey. What do you want people to get from this book, from this experience? What do you want them to receive from this experience that you have gone through?
well, first of all, like each journey that you take,
Yeah.
know that journey is leading you to another journey, because that is what happened with me. It started with my aunt, and I was
Uh huh.
totally oblivious to, I had to deal with my father, and then when I had to deal with Samantha, it wasn't until it was, all over with them,
Mm-hmm.
Sam, that I realized, hey, I've been doing this. I've been that caregiver. But caregiving is
Mm-hmm.
not for everyone. And I think some people need to understand that too. And caregiving can
True.
go in all different
So
directions,
true.
because
Say
for
that,
some,
doctor. Doctor, slow down, slow down, slow down. Say that again, sister. Caregiving is
caregiving is
not.
not for everyone.
Mm,
No, because you have
mm-hmm.
to, basically what you're doing is most of the times is holding space. And holding space
Oh wow.
means that you give that person a chance scream, let them scream. If they want to curse you out, let them
Yeah.
do that. If they want to
Yeah.
just talk the story and you've heard it 100 times, let them talk. That's because, see, you don't know what it is that they're going through. Nobody is giving you a death sentence. When you have a
Mm-hmm.
death sentence, your mind is in a whole different, like, concept area. Everything is different.
Right.
Everything is different. So caregiving is not for everyone. You may just be the person that may pick them up and take them to the doctor and bring them back. You may just be that person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You may not be that person to have to turn them. You may not be that person, because you can get mad when they tell you I don't feel like turning. You may
Right.
not be that person.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
don't feel bad, if you're not that person. Or you may be the person to just sit and read to them. Saul
Mm.
needed David to soothe him. You may just be that person to
Mm-hmm.
soothe them. You
Mm-hmm.
may just need to sing
Mm-hmm.
to them. You may
Mm-hmm.
just need to read,
Wow.
whatever it is. You may just need to tell them a story.
Wow.
So caregiving takes on so many years, and I realized that with the three
Mm-hmm.
um, that I've had to deal with so far, that each one was different.
Wow.
Each role I played
Wow.
was different. So
Mm-hmm.
don't force yourself to be a caregiver. Don't do it, because all you will do is agitate that person. You will actually make them you could actually make them depressed. So
Mm.
don't force yourself on people as a kid for everyone.
Wow, that's probably the best thing you could have said to me tonight. I mean, wow. So many, and I keep saying this tonight. So many people go through these things, and they think, you know what? Because it's my mom, I have to do it, and they're not made up for that.
No.
They're not made up for that. So months later, they're thinking how much they hate to be in the situation they're in, and then can't change the situation anymore because it's
Some
already
people can't
happening.
help it because some people don't have family members to do things. Some people don't have family members to share, But you could be the
Right,
unknown
right.
caregiver. You could be that unknown caregiver. Because for Sam, I didn't know her. She wasn't related to me. She wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt was my aunt. My father was my father. Samantha was
Right.
just
True.
someone that
True.
somebody nominated for the show, and because
So true.
like I often told people, my son, who is my baby, is 33. It's going to be 33, and Sam died at age 31. So
Wow.
she could have
Wow.
been my child.
Wow. 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 She could have been your daughter.
But I made her as
Jeez.
comfortable as possible. I
Right.
did
Right.
whatever she needed. There were times, yes, when she was talking the same story, and I was saying in my head, boy, Sam, and talked the story so many times, but I sat there and I listened as if I'd never heard it before.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. All right, we're gonna take one more break. We're gonna take one more break, and there's a song called "Strong Tower" by Lisa Harris out of Antigua, and we're gonna listen to this one, and then we're gonna talk some more with our Dr. Gillian Corey Williams, and we're gonna wrap it up right on that next segment. All right. Thank you so very much for checking us out at GL365 Radio.
Should have known better, should have held on, should have been upon the Lord. But now I've grown, and now I know I can do it on my own. The enemy is like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. From my strength in the Lord, the gates of hell will never prevail. As long as my Lord, he will never fail. My strong tower is the Lord.
My Strong Tower in the Lord. The song is called Strong Tower by Lisa Harris. Lisa Harris out of Antigua, Jamaican, actually living in Antigua. And I really, really love this song, Strong Tower. We are talking to the one and only Dr. Gillian. And now, listen, she's no longer a stranger to us. She's going to be a part of our organization. All right. I'm adopting you. I'm adopting you to be my big sister. Okay, Dr. Gillian. I'm adopting you to be my big sister. I love the message that you're sharing with us tonight. And think, here we are at this point. But by the way, the book is available on Amazon. I'm told it's available on Amazon, and so try your very best to go and seek it out. Get the book. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have Dr. Gillian send me a couple of copies so that I can give them away on the shows that we have here, and so someone will be a lucky winner one of these days to get a copy for themselves. She'll send an autographed copy to me. So you can get an autographed copy of Being on Diagnosis. Tell us a little bit more about that. I know it's available on Amazon, like you said, and anywhere else that they can get the book.
Well, a website should be up shortly, but Amazon for right now. But we're working on the website now, so that should be up hopefully within the week or before a week.
Right.
If you are in Nassau, we will have them available as of the 2nd of July. If you're here in the Bahamas, we'll have them available then.
Nice. I just got a message from a Laverne who's sending you congratulations, and she's saying awesome interview, awesome show, D-Roy. Congratulations to my friend Gillian. Blessings from Laverne. All right,
Thank
Laverne,
you.
want to tell you how beautiful you look and and how awesome it is for her to be watching you on our platform tonight. Anybody else sending Sharon Pratt says to tell you congratulations, Dr. Gillian.
Thank
Blessings to
you.
you in your season. Let me see if any more of your friends on here. They're giving you big shout out. We're getting a good response saying whatever you have said was so profound. We're using words like that. That is profound. I see Shamara Curry is with us. Auntie Jilly. She's shouting you out.
Hi.
Oh, I guess who's here? Heidi says, "Yay, mommy."
That's my daughter.
All right now, Heidi. Thank you for joining us, Heidi. We have Sharon Curry who's saying congratulations.
Thank you, Sharon.
Lana Sawyer says congratulations. Who else is there? Wow. Franklin Williams. Let me see. Franklin Williams is Mr. Franklin, right? Is that
That's
Mr.
my husband.
Okay, Mr. Franklin Williams. Thank you for joining us this evening. And we have Gabrielle Dean.
Hi, Gabby.
Saying blessings, Gillian, blessings. So you've got a bunch of people who came on here. Please, I'm asking you to come back. Please, if you can register your name on our platform, please register your name so that you can get your yellow star. We love to give yellow stars around here. So you can get a yellow star by your name and just not blank and a little blanket red on your name. All right. So register if you can and think. What are those last words that you have for us tonight, Dr. Gillian, that you want to share with someone who's listening, maybe for the first time they're hearing your voice and first time they're realizing your story? What is that last word that you want to share with us? To such
my thing has always been, and in the last page of the book, that if I could help somebody as I've traveled on, then my living has not been in vain.
My God.
You may not be able to, like I said, you may not be able to bathe that person. You may not be able to turn that person. You may not be able to help that person get out the bed or get out the tub. But you can give that person an encouraging word. You can give them a scripture. You can just read to them. All those things are important. So any little thing that you can do to help somebody, doesn't matter who they are. And don't look at, because I had someone call me the other day and they gave me a scripture and they said, I'm just thinking about you. And they didn't understand what that did for me because people see and people think, oh, she got it all together, so she doesn't need a word. No.
Wow.
too. There are times I'm
That's
low.
right.
There are times I need a word. And if
Yeah,
God
yeah.
puts you to call me, because sometimes it's just, sometimes a person name comes to mind and you say,
Uh-huh.
wow, I haven't heard from that person or talked to that person in a long time. It may not
Mm-hmm.
be for you to call that person, it may just be for you to say a prayer for that person. But sometimes God has you to call that person, and some people don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you
Mm-hmm.
could help someone, anyone, as you travel on,
Wow.
as
Wow.
I say, then your living wouldn't in
Be
vain.
in vain. Wow. 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 I mean, there's not more I can say to that. That's a perfect song for an ending as such as this. Perfect song for an ending like that. I'm actually looking in my library to see if I could find the song. And rarely I can't find a song. Okay. So I'm looking to see if I could come across that song and play that song because it's such a powerful, powerful message. If I could help somebody as I go along, then I know for sure that my living will not be in vain. You went out and you helped your aunt. You were there for your dad. You were there for your friend. What's her name again? Is it
Samantha.
Samantha? You were there for Samantha, and here you are writing about it to show somebody that listen. You can do this too. You could do this too. And the experience that you have shared with us tonight, man. I want to thank you so very much for one making yourself available, and for honoring your aunt and your dad, and your friend. And also it's Father's Day, so I mean I can only imagine Father's Day weekend. I can only imagine how your weekend is gonna be because you have to live with this every single time, every year around. A lot of times, a lot of people put the emphasis on, well, most people put the emphasis on Mother's Day, because when you lose your mom, it's like the world turned upside down. But losing dad is like, yeah, my dad passed. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it is nonchalant. And I could tell of the relationship that you had with your dad, how important he was to you, the love you had for him. I mean, the affection that you share with your dad, and for you to share it with us on the Thursday evening before Father's Day, and keep it together. Thank you so very much, Dr. Gillian. Also, I want to give a big shout out to the class of 1981, St. John's.
Thank you.
Class of
Thank you guys.
St. John's. Sophia Hunter is with us tonight. I guess you invited Sophia over, huh?
Thank you.
And Sophia said she
Thank
wanted
you,
to give
Kofi.
a big shout out to the class of 1981 at St. John's.
Okay, I just want to thank some people. If I could just get a second.
Sure,
Um,
sure. Let me
I
give you a
I
more lively music than this one, okay? Let me put a little upbeat.
I kind of I want to thank my husband who has been a support for
Yeah.
everything that I do. I think sometimes he wakes up and be like, "Jeepers, what is my wife going to be doing today?" Um, so he has those moments quite often.
Right?
I want to thank my children who have been my greatest supporters, and
Mhm.
my grandson. I love you guys so much. I want to thank my mom who's still alive. I've
Mhm.
never always done everything I know she's wanted me to do, but I'm sure she is proud of what I'm doing now.
Right.
And thank you to all my girlfriends. Y'all know who y'all are. I ain't gonna start calling no names because I can get in trouble, so I ain't going down that road. But you know who you are. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you for putting up with me for all these ideas I throw at y'all. I always throw in something, and y'all wonder too, like what she could do next. I wondering too what God got me do next. So,
Right?
but thank you for all of you who have supported me. Thank you for all of you who have just prayed for me. And then last but not least, I just want to thank God because listen, this road has not been easy for me. This has been
Mhm.
up and down and back and forth and fall forward and fall backward. But I've always gotten up. I've always known, and it's been in my frontal lobe that, hey, I am going to make this. I am going to make God proud of me. He's going to
Mhm.
be proud to
Mhm.
say that I am his daughter. Like, that's my daughter right there. That's my daughter. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
I am so grateful to God for making me and molding me to be who I am, and someone a daughter that he can be proud of.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and
And then
thank you for me.
one more, sorry, one more. Miss
One more.
Angie.
Go ahead,
Angie, thank you so much for this connection because it was Miss Angie that did this connection. Angie, thank you so much. You know, I love you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And may God always bless you. May those windows of heaven always be open above your head. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Yes, and Angela just insisted, you have to talk to her. You trust me, you want to talk to her. So I said, okay, let me see. How can I put in a fashion designer in a gospel show? How can I how can I put that together? And she said, you make it happen. Don't worry, you make it happen. I said, okay, all right, sis, I'll make it happen for you. I think, but thank you so very much again for coming in and for joining us tonight and for bringing so many people with you. I see the entire family showed up for you and show out for you. It's like you're graduating. It's like it's graduation time and you're graduating and they're watching you to get to your diploma. So
Thank you.
but thanks once again, and we will definitely be talking some more. I want to partner with you and thing, and so thank you again. And ladies and gentlemen, please support our new friend and our sister. Support her on this book. Buy the book. Go to Amazon and buy the book, Beyond Diagnosis, and read the story for yourself. Read everything for yourself that she shared with us. And I guarantee you, your life will not be the same. And if not, buy another one for a friend of yours. You know what I mean? Buy another one for a friend who you know have been going through similar things as what our Dr. Gillian went through, and share that with somebody. All right? Thank you so very much once again for joining us tonight. And I'm going to set Dr. Gillian free so that she can enjoy the rest of her evening. It's approximately 9:30 here in Houston, Texas, and you're listening to GL365 Radio. Dr. Gillian, thank you once again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure. God bless you, sis. God bless you.
God bless you.